Hello, my name is Christopher Carpenter. I'm making this video as a preview before chatting later. This is just a summary on video. I hope it can be of help to Argentina's sovereignty claims over the Malvinas. Here it goes. After working voluntarily for free since April 9th, 2021 on the history related to the Malvinas, dating back to at least the 17th and 18th centuries, for example, I understand there appears to be a Malvinas industry in the Cancilleria, justifying its own existence. While there may be good work in international courts of justice in the UN, this video only focuses on presenting an introduction, not exhaustive, as that would require a longer talk, showing evidence, etc., of what I see as flaws in an historical element. Let me give just a couple examples of why I say this. One, here is the Twitter of Facundo Rodriguez, who is presumed to have a prominent position in the Argentine government to understand the Malvinas, at least in its historical context. But his Twitter has long been showing a publication by him and Dr. Marcelo Cohen from 2016, and refutation of the book by the Brit Graham Pascoe from 2008, according to the Editorial Universitaria of Buenos Aires. Where his book was published. Highlighted on his Twitter page by Rodriguez. I hope I have all the dates correct for Cohen and Rodriguez. Although it is correct, obviously, they've not responded to the British about the British claim to the Malvinas for a while. This book by Facundo Rodriguez and Marcelo Cohen was published in 2016. Although since then, Graham Pascoe has published 3 volumes recently in 2023, and one specifically in refutation of that book on his Twitter account on October 13, 2022, to which Cohen and Rodriguez haven't posted a response publicly yet. How can one have an outdated rebuttal against the British on Twitter, located at the top of this social media account? I understand from Ambassador Paola Di Chiaro, who is currently in charge of the Malvinas Secretariat, and Admiral Maximo Perez Leon Barreto, that Rodriguez has an important position in the Foreign Ministry, Cancilleria. I don't understand why Cohen and Rodriguez would keep their response to Pascoe a secret if there had been a response from them. Was there ever a response from them? I understand from Graham Pascoe's research colleague, Peter Pepper, that a response was written in 2020, and also something in 2021, a back and forth apparently. But before 2022, to Pascoe's latest work in refutation of his, and I have the scans here of those notes of 2020, again now outdated, considering that Pascoe has since written 4 works, one of them published in October 2023, directly in refutation of what Rodriguez stapled to the top of his Twitter account since December 2020. Aside from this, I had an inconvenient exchange with both Rodriguez and Silvia Marega, M-E-R-E-G-A, by WhatsApp on June 21, 2023, when I inopportunely asked why the Duke of Wellington's letter of July 25, 1829, had apparently not been used by the Cancilleria, and certainly not in the work of Rodriguez and Cohen, who discredit Pascoe's earlier works. Unfortunately, I used the word absurd in parentheses with my question, and they apparently took offense, giving Ms. Marega a stern response. And in fact, Rodriguez has never responded to me since. I apologized several times. I understand from Enrique Aramburu recently that Rodriguez is never going to respond to me. I am no longer in contact with Aramburu because I felt deceived by his actions or inactions for about 6 months. Although there could be many other examples of errors or omissions, this seems obvious, just these 2. In other words, how is it that the foreign relations page of the nation of Spain has as its main page on the top the Treaty of Utrecht? And why don't we take up arms alongside with them in a kind of kinship using this same treaty so that both nations can vigorously combat, so to say, the usurpation of Great Britain? It seems to me that we should ask ourselves what has left us in Argentina without solid solutions for perhaps 100 years? Why don't we hope to work with other nations like Spain, which could be so easy given our brotherhood, instead of Twitter exchanges and homogeneous conferences? Again, there are many other points that could be highlighted, but to start, I could show this couple clearly and directly. My journey in this work began on April 9th, 2021, when I read the 1839 United States Supreme Court decision in Suffolk Insurance versus owners of the ship Harriet at the Libreria Guido, a photocopy store and etc. on Calle Libertad in Buenos Aires, when Dr. Monica Pinto came into the store casually and she heard me talking with the staff. She had been on the Malvinas Commission and is a former dean of the UBA Faculty of Law. Since that date, I've been working, and with several others, and purchasing documents on my own for the Argentine case for just exactly 3 years. Since then, I've barely had any contact with her. The last letter I had access to, digitized from the Kew Archives in London, is from Henry Southern to a superior in London, Henry John Temple, or Lord Palmerston, after Henry Southern's alleged night of drinking with Juan Manuel Rosas. This was reported by British researchers Graham Pascoe and others. You may see a page of that last letter here. Since then, I have not had access to any more letters from Kew nor from the United States, such as the U.S. Supreme Court files on Harriet, as I've done little research since hearing about the Cancilleria Rodriguez a few weeks ago. Interestingly, I also have about 600 photographs of documents that, as I understand by the British researcher Pepper from Pascoe, the British have also not seen, and that I have found near our family museum in southern Massachusetts and another museum in Taunton, Massachusetts, a town next door, at the Old Colony History Museum. I happen to have this envelope on my desk from the same museum where the documents are held. These are documents of the American consul Francis Baylis in Argentina during the crucial months of 1832. This is Francis Baylis from the United States government with a list of chargé d'affaires and ambassadors going back to about the beginning. Now I am working also voluntarily and for free to solve problems on other flanks, to advance the discussion using solid sources such as the treaties of Utrecht and Nootka, and probably with a student expedition from Saint-Malo in France to promote peaceful dialogue. I only hope there'll be more people interested in helping with goodwill. Thank you very much.